This is Honda's new Elevate, and it's technically not the replacement for the WRV, but it's also technically the replacement for the WRV. It's built for the urban landscape. Some might even call it an urban cruiser. Speaking of urban cruiser, that is one of the many cars that this will be going up against. And today on our short test drive and time spent with this car at a launch, we will be going through all the new things on this all-new model and find out what it's like to drive. Let's check it out. There are two grades available, Comfort and Elegance, and this is the top spec Elegance model. Incidentally, the Comfort comes with a manual gearbox and the Elegance comes with a CVT. Both of these cars have Honda's 1.5 litre engine that makes about 89 kilowatts. For now, let's check out the exterior, and here we can see these chrome door handles with keyless entry. Then you've got color-coded big rear-view mirrors and 17-inch wheels and tires. At the back, this car's got LED lights in places, but also regular bulbs, and of course, that might be to save some costs. The Urban Cruiser's boot space is rated at 328 litres. This back here is 458 litres. According to Honda, one of the biggest in class, and it really is quite a massive boot. It does have a bit of a sill over here, but the aperture's decent. It's just a decently spacious car. But let's talk about the comfort. You've got these very nice leather seats. And remember, this is the top spec CVT model, and there's that CVT gearbox. You've also got rake and reach adjustable as standard. You've also got an 8-inch standalone infotainment system over here with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then you've got the 7-inch TFT over here, which is sort of a hybrid digital analog clock. They really weren't joking about the headroom in this car. It's got a little cavity on top here that gives it quite a spacious feeling. The legroom is quite spacious too. And I've got to say, they've done a good job with these indented headrests front and back. You've also got these little pouches over here with a cell phone holder, which I quite like. Then of course, there's the armrest over here, which I think is slightly angled in the wrong position. But other than that, it's actually quite pleasant at the back here. Incidentally, the length is very similar to the Urban Cruiser, and so is the tiny 5.2 meter turning circle. But it does lack a little bit on ground clearance, where the Urban Cruiser's got about 20 millimeters more. I don't think we'll notice it over these little potholes over here. So let's merge with traffic, floor it. Okay, so that's what the CVT gearbox sounds like in the top spec model. This car's got 145 Newton meters and as mentioned 89 kilowatts, and I think with one person alone in the car it's fine, and on a downhill like this it's also quite fine. But when you're going uphill with 2 or 3 people in the car, it does feel a little bit wheezy. I think the engine's strong enough. It just would have been nice to have a little bit more grunt, I think. Honda claims to have been working extensively on the noise isolation material on this car, which means you get extra insulation under the wheel arches, on the bonnet, in the back of the car, etc. But I don't necessarily think it's that quiet in here, although it is quiet enough when cruising. It's only when the engine sort of picks up on that note that you hear the engine. So I think for cruising, it's not bad. And speaking of cruising, I do like the way the suspension is set up and how the tires and the suspension work together, because it's a relatively comfortable drive. Oh, here's a nice little bump. Let's drive straight through that hole. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So remember, you've got two grades, Comfort and Elegance. And in the Comfort, you get the 16-inch wheels, and on this one, the Elegance, you get the 17-inch wheels. You also, on this one over here, get keyless entry, but a feature that I love on this car is the walk-away locking, which means you kind of just walk away like in the movies when there's a giant explosion behind you, but the doors lock. And also, the sounds that are made inside here don't feel cheap. It feels nice, it sounds nice. I like the way the indicator sounds like a Honda indicator. And I think that's what many Honda owners are looking for, because we know Honda provides good reliability, good after-sales service, and a whole bunch of other pros. But historically, especially recently, they've been a little bit expensive. Tootling along the peninsula at 40 odd kilometers an hour, I think, is where this car really does shine. The engine RPMs at 1,500. I'm doing 4.3 liters per 100 at the moment. I'm sure that'll go up a little bit, but it's comfortable. It's quiet. It's spacious. Visibility's good. Yeah, this is where this car shines.